In short, we'll break up his lair and cut off his retreat. Let Old Monkey go and wage a contest of transformation with him. 8 rules, and the local spirit followed his instruction, and we shall leave them for the moment. Putting away his golden hooped rod, the great sage shook his body and changed into a Manchurian vulture, which spread its wings and darted up to a hole in the clouds. It then hurtled down and dropped onto the swan, seeking to seize its neck and peck at the eyes. Knowing also that this was a transformation of Pilgrim's son, the Bull King hurriedly flapped his wings and changed himself into a yellow eagle to attack the vulture. At once, Pilgrim changed himself into a black phoenix, the special foe of the yellow eagle. Recognizing him, the Bull King changed next into a white crane which, after a long cry, flew toward the south. Pilgrim stood still and, shaking his feathers, changed into a scarlet phoenix that uttered a resounding call. Since the phoenix was the ruler of all the birds and fowl, the white crane dared not touch him. Spreading wide his wings, he dived instead down the cliff and changed with one shake of the body into a musk deer, grazing rather timorously before the slope. Recognizing him, Pilgrim flew down also and changed into a hungry tiger which, with wagging tail and flying paws, went after the deer for food. Greatly flustered, the Demon King then changed into a huge spotted leopard to attack the tiger. When Pilgrim saw him, he faced the wind and, with one shake of his head, changed into a golden-eyed Asian lion, with a voice like thunder and a head of bronze, which pounced on the huge leopard. Growing even more anxious, the Bull King changed into a large bear, which extended his paws to try to seize the lion. Rolling on the ground, Pilgrim at once turned himself into a scabby elephant, with a trunk like a python and tusks like bamboo shoots. Whipping up his trunk, he tried to catch hold of the bear. With a loud guffaw, the Bull King then revealed his original form of a gigantic white bull, with a head like a rugged mountain and eyes like bolts of lightning. The 2 horns were like 2 iron pagodas, and his teeth were like rows of sharp daggers. From head to toe, he measured more than 10,000 feet, while his height from hoof to neck was about 800. Wretched ape! He roared at Pilgrim. What will you do with me now? Pilgrim also changed back to his true form. Yanking out his golden hooped rod, he bent his back and then straightened out, crying, "Grow!" At once he grew to a height of 100,000 feet, with a head like Mount Tai, eyes like the sun and the moon, a mouth like a bloody pond, and teeth like doors. Lifting high his iron rod, he brought it down on the bull's head, and it was met by a pair of flinty horns. This battle truly rocked the ridges and the mountains, alarmed both heaven and earth. We have a testimonial poem, and it says, "Tao is 1 foot, though the demon's 10,000 feet. Which clever mind monkey must toil to beat? If one wants the mountain flameless to be, the treasure fan must bring cold purity. Yellow dames resolved the elder to uphold. To clear the fiend's wood mother makes bold. 5 phases, peaceful, to right fruit return. And, ascending west, dirt and demons spurn." Releasing their vast magic powers, the 2 of them battled in mid-mountain, and it soon alerted all those deities inhabiting the empty void, the golden-headed guardian, the 6 gods of darkness and the 6 gods of light, and the 18 guardians of monasteries all came to surround the Demon King, who was not the least daunted. Look at him. He headed east. He headed west. With 2 erect and gleaming iron horns, charging back and forth. He bunted north. He bunted south. His dark, hairy hard tendinous tail, whipping left and right. The great sage sun met him head-on, while the various deities attacked him from all sides. Exasperated, the Bull King rolled on the ground and changed back into his original form to flee to the palm leaf cave. Changing back to his normal size, Pilgrim also gave chase from behind with the deities. Dashing inside the cave, the Demon King shut the door and refused to come out, while the gods had the Jade Cloud Mountain tightly surrounded. As they were about to charge the door, they heard the noisy arrival of 8 Rules, the local spirit, and his band of ghost soldiers. When Pilgrim saw them, he asked, "What happened at the cloud-touching cave?" "The mistress of that old bull," replied 8 Rules, chuckling, "was killed by one blow of my rake. When I stripped her, she turned out to be a white-faced fox. The rest of the fiends were all donkeys, asses, cows, stallions, badgers, foxes, musk deer, goats, tigers, antelopes, and the like. They have all been wiped out. We set fire also to his cave dwelling. The local spirit then told me that he has another household in this mountain, and that's why we've come back here to make a clean sweep of them." "You have achieved great merit, worthy brother," said Pilgrim. "Congratulations. Old Monkey has waged in vain a contest of transformation with him, for I have not yet achieved a victory. He finally changed into the biggest possible white bull, and I therefore assumed the appearance that imitated heaven and earth. As I clashed with him, the various deities were kind enough to descend on us and have him completely surrounded. He then changed back into his original form and fled inside the cave." "Is this that palm leaf cave?" asked 8 Rules. Pilgrim said, "Indeed it is. This is where Rak-Asi lives." "In that case," said 8 Rules, growing more vehement, "why don't we fight our way in, attack him, and demand from him the fan? Why should we let him wait and get wiser, or let him enjoy the company of his wife? Dear idiot." Rousing his strength, he lifted high his rake and brought it down on the door. With a loud crash, both the door and one side of the ledge collapsed. One of the maids fled into the cave to report, "Sire, someone has wrecked our front door." The Bull King had just dashed inside. Still panting, he was telling Rak-Asi about how he took the fan from Pilgrim and then waged the contest with him. When he heard the report, he became enraged. Spitting out the fan, he handed it over to Rak-Asi, who, when she received it, began to weep. "Great king," she said, "let's give that monkey the fan so that he'll withdraw his troops." "Oh madam," said the Bull King, "the fan's a small thing, but my hatred is deep. You sit here while I go to contend with them once more." Putting on his armor again, the demon took up the 2 treasure swords and walked out. 8 Rules was still using his rake on the door. When the old bull saw him, he hacked away with his swords without another word. 8 Rules retreated a few steps, protecting himself with the upraised rake. After they left the doorway, the great sage immediately joined them with his iron rod. Mounting a violent gust of wind, the bull demon leapt clear of the cave dwelling, and they began a fresh skirmish above the Jade Cloud Mountain, encircled by the many gods, the local spirit, and the band of ghost soldiers. This was again some battle. Clouds conceal the world. Mist shrouds the cosmos. Dark wind blows soughing, sand and rocks roll. Angry breaths rise up and ocean waves churn. 2 swords are sharpened again. The whole body's armed once more. There's hatred deep as the sea, as anger grows from enmity. Watch the great sage, equal to heaven who, for merit's sake, rejects now a friend he has known for years. 8 Rules uses his power to seek the fan. The gods hunt the Bull King to protect the law. The Bull King's 2 hands will not stop or pause. With vigor they parry both left and right. They fight till the birds fold their wings and cease to fly. Till fishes stop leaping and submerge their scales. Till ghosts and gods wail as heaven and earth grow faint. Till tigers and dragons cower as sunlight fades. Abandoning any regard for his life or limb, the Bull King fought them for over 50 rounds before he weakened and was forced to retreat in defeat. As he fled toward the north, he was met at once by the Diamond Guardian Dharma diffusion of vast magic powers and of the cliff of mysterious demons in the Mountain of 5 Platforms, who shouted at him, "Bull Demon, where are you going? I have been sent by the Buddhist patriarch Sakyamuni to set up cosmic nets here to capture you." Hardly had he finished speaking when the great sage, 8 Rules, and the other deities came rushing toward them, so frightening the Demon King that he turned and fled toward the south. He ran right into the Diamond Guardian, victorious ultimate of immeasurable Dharma power, and of the pure cool cave in the Ame Mountain, who shouted at him, "I received the Buddha's decree to capture you." His legs turning weak and his heart growing faint, the Bull King hurriedly tried to head toward the east, when he was met by the Diamond Guardian Great Strength, Avisrama, a ascetic from the ear-touching ridge of the Sumeru mountain, who shouted at him, "Where are you going, old bull? By the secret command of Tathagata, I am here to arrest you." Backing off in fear, the Bull King fled toward the west, but he was greeted by the Diamond Guardian ever-abiding, the indestructible honored Raja of the Golden Beam Summit at the Kunlun Mountain, who shouted at him, "Where is this fellow going? I am stationed here by the personal order of the aged Buddha in the great Thunderclap Monastery of the Western Heaven. Who'll let you get away?" In fear and trembling, the Bull King did not have time even for regret when he saw Buddhist warriors and celestial generals approaching from all sides with cosmic nets spread so wide that there was virtually no way to escape. In that abject moment, he heard Pilgrim and other pursuers closing in, and he had to mount the clouds to try to flee toward the sky.